Blog Talk Radio.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Saubana. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed, into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speaks for your Monday morning mindfulness sessions on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit ZeldaSpeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on higher learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening. Grand Rising. And for those of you who are not familiar with or greeting, please say Grand Rising instead of morning, because we're not in morning. It's a new day, it's a new you, and it's a new opportunity for you to the very best you can possibly be in this life. Today, we have been blessed with a guest who has and is continuing to make a difference in the world. And today's topic is, how can we make this earth a better place by. And our special guest today is Trevor Pilar, also known as Ray Red, best-selling performance coach as seen on TED Talks. So what is grounding? And how can we help the earth heal before it kills us all? How can we make the earth a better place to live? As you can see with the hurricanes and the tornadoes and the earthquakes in California and the Philippines and in the Midwest, and it's just happening all over the world. And Mother Earth is fighting back. are expecting in the very near future to have Mama Z on with us for, or I should say, with Mothers of the Earth, to talk about more ways in which we can help the earth heal, because man has done a wonderful job of destroying it. So those who are supposedly in charge of these of this system that we live in, we as individuals, each and every one of us can make a difference, and it's up to us to do that. But the first thing we have to do, and by your listening today, we know that you've decided to join the movement and making this a place where our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren can live in peace and not be living like that of, remember the movie Mad Max from Thunderdome with Tina Turner and I can't remember the other guy's name, but there were people living above ground and there were people living underground, and it is not a pretty scenario, and it looks like we're headed in that direction. So if you haven't seen that movie Mad Max from Thunderdome, you need to see that movie and see the direction that this world is going in. So if you are listening online, feel free to send in your comments, questions, suggestions to our Facebook page, The Female Solution, as well as Zelda Speaks, and on Twitter and Instagram as well. And today's trivia includes, you can win a prize. That's right. All you have to do is call in and tell me what the subject of today's show is. How simple is that? So today's prize is the Date, Rate, Checkmate Pre-Marriage Guide for singles considering marriage, because marriage is an awesome responsibility. It is not what you think it is. You don't know what marriage is until you do it. And then you wonder why the divorce rate is so high, because of numerous factors. Many of them including, well, it didn't work out and we just decided to split up. Well, marriage is about compromise, and it's not. It's more than a notion. So this is to help you from those who are, for those who are considering it. This is tried and true experience from people who have been married for quite a while, and it talks about the trials and tribulations and some of the tips and tools and techniques that you can use in times of chaos and confusion. Even in a relationship where you're not married, it will help. And today's prizes also include the innovative Mindfulness Stress Relief 21-day home journal practice manual. And you can call in at 515-605-9325 after the 7:30 hour, and you can tell us what the name of the show is, and you can win a prize. And remember to keep those DVRs set for the Higher Learning Network TV show, which airs Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 p.m. on Channel 19, and 24/7 on the World Wide Web at higherlearningnetwork.org. And as always, we like to start the day with a spiritual reading, because we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And as the late beloved Dr. Maya Angelou says, before you face the day, face God. And today's reading is taken from Inspirational Conversations, Volume 2 with Shalom Yisrael, a.k.a. Zelda Speaks. And it's taken from September 24th. I'm actually reading from the day because I don't always read from the day of the show. I read whatever Spirit gives me, and it could open up a page to December or January. Who knows? But today it gave me this, so this is what I will share with you. And it says, have you ever kissed a tree? If not, why not? It has certainly kissed you in more ways than one. If you've ever felt the warmth of the sun, you've been kissed by a tree. How so? Well, you probably ran and hid under the branches for shade. If you wear cotton clothing, I'm sure it's kept you warm or cool, not to mention fashionable. If you use writing paper or toilet paper, you've been kissed by a tree. If you live in a house that's warm, you've been kissed by a tree. Even if the house is cold, you've still been kissed by a tree. All these things and millions more, all compliments of a tree. Now find a tree and kiss it. At least hug it. Hopefully, it will be there the next time you need it. If it's not there, there's no one to blame but you. If you didn't heed the call to recycle, it's not too late. Now find a tree and hug it, even if you don't kiss it. Inspirational Conversations with Shalomith Yisrael, a.k.a. Zelda Speaks. Now you say, how can I possibly be blamed for trees that are missing? Because we, as a people, haven't taken a stand on the people who are supposedly in power, who are cutting down the trees. It's simple. We allowed it to happen. We haven't protested. We haven't organized. We have not done what we are supposed to do. Now, you know there are millions of trees in the Amazon forest. And right now, those trees shower us with green herbs and plants that are in the ground and that will no longer be there. Those herbs in which pharmaceutical companies are going over there and are there and have pretty much ripped the Amazon forest apart. By taking the trees, you remove the other living species of plants that heal, that have healed the body in numerous ways, because this is where the pharmaceutical companies get their plants from and add their preservatives and things of that nature, and poisons, might I add, and we wind up with prescription meds. And we always should ask ourselves the question, why are we taking prescription medicine when the original herb that is in the medicine came from a plant from the ground? Little food for thought. So keep that in mind as you take your next prescription. And is there an alternative to that prescription? Is there a herb that you can take? Let the record show. I am not a doctor. I am not a scientist. I am not a physicist. I am not a pharmacist. I do not know the ingredients that you need in your prescription medicine for whatever your ailment is, but I do know, as a child who lived in the South, we could not afford a doctor, and Granny would always go out to the yard and come back with something and chop it up and put it in some water and drink it, and girlfriend would be good the next day. Do you hear me? So this is not what I heard. This is not what I read. This is what I know. And it's up to us as a people to stop the madness, killing the trees, because when you kill the trees, you kill the earth. And the earth is what keeps us here. And that is the subject of today's show. It's the earth, grounding. How can we become grounded in order to remain centered so no one can throw us off our square, our point, or whatever you like to call it? Well, one of the ways that we can do it is by practicing what we call here on The Female Solution, Monday morning mindfulness. So let us prepare for the next few minutes in which we will become quiet and do a breathing exercise that will help us prepare for the day. Not only prepare, but armor us. It will protect us. It will shield us from that which is negative and keep us centered. And the way that we do that is to sit up straight in a chair if possible, feet flat on the floor, back erect so that the energy from the spine to the top of the head can flow. Nothing in your hands by your side if possible. And you will close your eyes and we will begin breathing through the nose if possible. If you're a little congested, you can breathe through the mouth, but try to breathe through the nose. Even if you make funny sounds, it doesn't matter. If you're listening online, if you've got your computer on, just know that the breathing that you will do, it may sound strange to you, but trust me, it works. So we would like for you to inhale to the count of 6, hold it for a hot second, and then exhale for the count of 6. And as you breathe, focus on the breath. You are paying attention to nothing but the breath. You should, when you inhale, you should feel your chest rise. If you don't feel it rise, that means you're not breathing deeply. And if you are on some kind of breathing machine or a sleeping apparatus, we understand that and we forgive that, but do the best you can because this is an exercise that will keep you through the course of the day and help you be a better you. So let us begin. Inhale deeply to the count of 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale deeply. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Counting to yourself. Inhale deeply. 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now focus on the top of your head as you continue to breathe. And know that you are at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Inhale deeply. And feel the energy as it begins to circulate from the top of your head on down through to the tip of your toes. As you continue breathing to yourself, feeling the chest increase and decrease as you breathe. Feel the energy circulating from the top of your head down to your forehead, to the eyes, the eyebrows, the cheeks, the nose, the lips, the chin, the jaws, moving on down through the neck, inhaling and exhaling as the energy continues to flow throughout the body, circulating and percolating throughout the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the elbows. Ah, what a relief it is to have the energy flowing in the direction that we so desire as we continue to inhale and exhale deeply, knowing that the breath that we are sending, the energy that we are sending the body will continue to bless us in ways unimaginable. Because most of the work that is being done on the inside, we cannot feel it until there are symptoms of dis-ease. Continue breathing. Inhale deeply. And as we exhale, continue feeling the energy circulating throughout the solar plexus, the chest, the back, the stomach, and the lower region as we give thanks. As we continue taking long, deep breaths, as the energy continues to flow through the hips, the buttocks, thighs, and the knees. As we continue breathing, we give thanks for the energy that continues to circulate through the legs, the shins, the ankles, the arches, the heels, and the toes. Wiggle those toes. And wiggle those fingers. And take a long, deep inhale. And hold it and exhale. And as you are breathing in, give thanks for the breath, because someone somewhere is not so lucky to be breathing on their own. I spent some time at the hospital last night with my mother-in-law who has severe dementia and breathing problems. So let us keep in our prayers those who have difficulty breathing. May breath be restored. And we give thanks for the breath of millions of people who are suffering all over this planet. This morning we breathe for them. We breathe energy of light and love and energy. And we give thanks for the breath. We give thanks for our breath, and we give thanks for those who need breath as we continue to breathe for them. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, give thanks. And repeat after me. You can say it out loud because words have wings. We will speak the two most powerful words on the planet, and they are, I am. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, I am happy, I am healthy, I am whole and complete. One more time. Inhale deeply. I am happy, I am healthy, I am whole and complete. Yes, I am. Inhale deeply. I am happy, I am healthy, I am whole and complete. And I give thanks for the breath that I breathe. As the energy continues to circulate and percolate through the body, it has made its way to the liver, to the heart, to the lungs, to the pancreas, to the spleen, to the spine, to the colon, to each and every organ in the body. And it is saying thank you. As you say, thank you for all of the inner workings of my body, especially the brain and the heart. Nothing happens without the brain and the heart. As you take one more long, deep breath, inhale deeply. And as you exhale, bend your head forward, chin to chest, and slowly rotate the head to the left. Slowly, slowly. You're moving too fast. Slowly. You should just be getting around to the back. Slowly. You're moving way too fast. Feel that stretch. Feel that stretch. You should just be coming to the back and slowly bringing your head around to the right, to the left, to the right. Feel that stretch. Bringing that head around to the right, to the front, chin to chest, and reversing the head to the right, slowly rotating the head back, slowly, slowly, slowly. You should just be reaching the back and around to the left, slowly, still breathing. And slowly bringing it around to the front, chin to chest, head up, looking straight forward, and looking to the side, to the left side, and now to the right side, and to the front. Take another long, deep breath. Inhale deeply. Hold it, and exhale. One more long, deep breath. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. Last long, deep breath. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Feel your power. Know that your power is not in anything material. Your power is in your breath. The breath can calm you down and anyone around you in a state of chaos or confusion or anxiety. So when you are feeling out of sorts, someone has come into your space and attacked you mentally, physically, emotionally, simply start the breathing process. Now, you don't have to breathe for 5 minutes, but spend at least 30 seconds inhaling and exhaling. And close your eyes if possible. And if you have to, look at the person that has attacked you. and they will think, OMG, this person is nuts. I need to back off and continue breathing. And hopefully, if you had a little onion or a little garlic, breathe through the nose, and trust me, they will step back out of your space. It works if you work it. Now you have it. And thank you for joining us this morning on Monday Morning Mindfulness. What a way to start the day. If you just tuned in, you're listening to Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. On Monday Morning Mindfulness, if you'd like to call in to join the conversation, please feel free to do so at 515-605-9325. And remember to press 1 to speak. Our guest today is Trevor PR, also known as Roy Red, best-selling author, speaker, and unbound performance coach. I've seen him on TED Talks, and you have got to see him as well. He will be joining us now, Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us this morning, Roy Red.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I'm so relaxed after that mindfulness exercise.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. And can you tell us what you enjoyed most about the mindfulness meditation session?
Well, when you were first coaching us through the breathing, at first I was staying with your voice, and then I got lost in my breath. And I just really relaxed. And it was almost like I couldn't hear anything anymore. And I wasn't asleep because I'm out on a walk, but I just felt like euphoric and just great. And it just felt good to just breathe and go internal for a little bit. You know.
Thank you for that. I loved what you said about lost in breath. I like that because you could hear my voice, but you were in your own world, euphoric. And I'm glad you used the word euphoric because people are often trying to reach a level of euphoricity, if there's such a word, and if not, we just made one up. They're trying to reach that level of a wellness state of being, and we often try to reach that way of being through external sources, drinking, smoking, eating, shopping, gambling. And what we need is already inside us. Isn't that awesome? And you gave us proof of that. I had the privilege of hearing you on TED Talks. And when I heard, thank you so much for contacting us in the first place, and for sending me that video. And I was like, this is a dynamite little brother. So tell us, Roy Red, how did this come to be? How did you become the best-selling author, speaker, and unbound performance coach? And exactly what is an unbound performance coach?
Well, just to give a little background on me, I was raised by two beautiful, great parents. They're both police officers, really had a perfect childhood. I really lucked out on the parenting train, but I ruined that growing up. You know, I didn't take advantage of my opportunities, and I just went through a hard time in life. I wasn't speaking to my family, and broke, depressed, embarrassed, homeless. I decided to get into personal development, and just like anyone, I just started to pick up books. I started to just model spiritual teachers and model, people that I really looked up to. And one day I decided, I said, I want to be a life coach. I didn't know what that was.
Wow.
I just love this work. I love what they're doing and what they did for me. And so I said, I would like to write a book one day. I said, but I can't write a book until I have some level of success. And so I started a business, a CPR business, small CPR business, and had a level of success where I felt like I could write a book now, even though that didn't really matter at the time, but I didn't know. And I wrote a book called The Success Magnet, Cultivate the 5 Values That Attract Success. And the whole premise of the book is self-expression is really what will attract everything you want. And a NBA player by the name of Alan Crabb got a hold of the book, and although he had a $75 million contract, he was depressed. He was really going through a hard time, and like you said, looking for that euphoric feeling with outside stuff rather than going inside. And although he went through that time, it gave me my opportunity. He was playing for the Portland Trailblazers at the time, and he flew me in and said, "Bro, I need you to coach me and help me through this." And I went, and we worked through some processes, through some exercises, and he felt great. He was playing better, living better, feeling better, more in tune with himself. And he looked at me and he said, I need this. I need this all the time. I'm going to fly out to play a game. When I get back, please have something in writing so we can work together. And I didn't know what I was doing, so I literally put together a business and a contract, and when he got back, he let me coach him. And when I was trying to figure out what I was really doing with my coaching, I realized that everything we need is already there. Everything that we need, we already know what we need to do. We just have to get out of our own way. And that's why I came up with this term. My friend Casey said, it's like we're bounded by these ideas and experiences. And I said, you're right. And if we can release those bounds, then we will be unbounded beings. And that's where the idea of unbounded performance comes from, where all I do is help people release the bounds that's keeping them from being themselves, being loving, being self-expressive, and getting out of that survival thinking that, bounds us and keeps us from being these beautiful, spiritual, God-loving beings that we are. And through that idea, I was able to work with Alan, and I've been working with athletes. And my dad one day said, everyone's an athlete. And when he told me that, I said, you know what, I need to take this to everyone. Performance is everything. Whether you're a mom, whether you're at work, you're an athlete, preacher, spiritual teacher, anything. What we want is a level of performance so that we can really impact the world. And so that's when I started speaking and coaching outside of just athletes as well.
Awesome. What an awesome story. And we're going to continue this story. If you just tuned in, you're listening to Trevor PR. I should say that. Trevor PR, a.k.a. Roy Red.
Roy Red. Roy Red. Trevor is actually my PR guy.
Okay. Roy Red. So, alrighty, Roy, thank you so much. Stay close. We've got to take a quick message break here, and we'll be right back, so stay close.
Hi, this is John Alexander.
And I'm Naima Latif. Meet people like you who are making a positive difference in the world.
Big difference.
Watch us every day on The Media Connection at www.youtube.com/The Media Connection TV.
YouTube it. We'll see you soon.
There are people who choose to make a positive difference in the world. Our job is to bring you their stories to motivate you to do the same. Join us each week, host John Alexander and Naima Latif, as we bring you the educators, entertainers, elected officials, religious leaders, and community activists whose works are transforming this world. Find out how you can make a difference too. Be inspired. Watch The Media Connection.
Mondays at 5 p.m. and Tuesdays at 12 noon on cable TV, Channel 19 in Chicago. And other cities, check your local cable listings.
Do you worry about finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down-to-earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul, whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. To take advantage of the deal of the day, go to zeldaspeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zeldaspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zeldaspeaks.com.
I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Community and police need to come together again. Police need to walk the streets, get to know the citizens. They can ride the buses, the the subways, and once again, become the officer friendly we always hear about. Police are the front line between us and the criminal element. As mayor, I will begin program to assure they will get to know us as our neighbors.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
Are you having challenges with your 2-year-old who has suddenly discovered they have a free will and has learned to tell you no? Are you having challenges with your 8-year-old who has suddenly learned how to tell untruths in order to avoid punishment? Are you having challenges with your 13-year-old who has suddenly realized that they know everything and you know nothing? Parenting is a challenge. Our children are here to learn and grow in understanding so that they can reach their highest creative potential and contribute to a new world of peace and harmony. To do our part as their teachers and protectors takes wisdom, patience, and skill. Join me, Naima Latif, and facilitator Mark Shahid on the Parenting and Family Reconstruction Learning Lab every Thursday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time on American Muslim 360 Blog Talk Radio. Tune in at www.blogtalkradio.com/American Muslim 360. Call in with your questions at 515-605-9891. That's 515-605-9891. Spare the rod. Love the child.
Hi, this is Maika, and I want you to join me every Thursday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And let's talk about it. There are so many interesting things to talk about, and we have many thought-provoking discussions. We have amazing guests on the show, and you'll find real transparency, a really peaceful environment, also a healing environment as we do EFT and other healing modalities to bring ourselves into congruence and balance. It's also a child-friendly environment. And we have an open mic. All you have to do is press 1 to be heard and to say what you have to say. No fear, no fake, real truth. That's what you'll find on my show. Visit our archives at The Female Solution on Blog Talk Radio and listen to past discussions that are intriguing. Call 505-615-9325. Invite a friend and listen in, and I'll see you then on Blog Talk Radio. Let's talk about it with Maika every Thursday.
Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us this morning here on The Female Solution, Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks, your Monday morning mindfulness. And if you enjoyed the meditation breathing session this morning, feel free to Let us know when you call in at 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. And you can also go to my YouTube page, Zelda Speaks Mindfulness. You'll see some of the other shows and as well as some of other tips and people who are benefiting from the breathing exercises. And I'm so glad that our guest today has enjoyed the breathing exercise. That would be the best-selling author with, Roy Red, who is just a phenomenal young man. And I love your story, that the challenges you were having and how you came to be a best-selling author. Not everyone is able to take lemons and make lemonade out of them, and you did just that. And so, thank you back and for hanging in here with us after the break this morning. What would you tell our listeners who are listening who may be having some challenges this morning? How can they become unbound, as you said earlier?
Well, so one distinction that really helped me was I read something. It said the problems and the issues that you're going through are the actual raw material that you need to put together to achieve your goal. And when I read that, it really hit me hard, because I also knew that just through reading about the mind, that we only create things that we value, right? And so it hit me. I said, okay, most of us don't value our problems and the negativities in our life. And if the negativities and the problems are the very raw material that we need to make our goals come true, then we have to be grateful and value the negative aspects as well. And when I switched my mind frame and started to be grateful for the tough circumstances as well, my creativity opened up, and it wasn't about my resources anymore. It was about my resourcefulness, and I was able to see possibilities that I couldn't see before just by being in gratitude and valuing the negatives. And then I was able to, my brain opened up, and I was able to come up with tangible things to create and use those negatives to make positives. And that's what I did through my story, through writing, and through God's will.
That is simply awesome, because how many of us give thanks for the chaos when we're in the midst of the madness? Not many. And how exactly what is it that you did? I know there were a variety of things that you did, and I know you have a systematic approach to this, but what can you share with our listeners, one or two tips that could help them in the midst of whatever it is that they're going through?
Okay, so I first would want to get clarity. And this is something what I do with my clients as well, is I ask an instant clarity question to myself or to them. And that question is, if we're having this conversation, and it could be any time, but usually I would say a year from now, what has to happen in your life or in your business for you to be happy with your progress if you're looking back? And specifically, what problems need to be handled? What strengths can we make stronger? And what opportunities can we capitalize on? And and I actually put them down on paper. I make a list of the problems that I need to transform. I make a list of the opportunities that I have in front of me, and I make a list of my strengths. And my strengths are I'm confident, I'm extremely disciplined, and I can come up with really good ideas. Those are my three strengths. And my opportunities, usually we have tons of opportunities, and we don't capitalize on them. My mentor, well, you used to always tell me, he says, the person, there's a person in your phone right now who could take you to where you want to be, but you're just not reaching out and connecting to them like you should be. And those are opportunities. Following up with people, actually connecting, going to those conferences, actually making your common sense your actual common practice. And then lastly is transforming those problems into non-problems, and that's just incrementally, okay, maybe it's a money problem. Okay, what do I have to do? I need to make this much, or I need to save this much. And once you have those opportunities, problems, and strengths down, then you just want to transfer them from that journal to your actual calendar. And that's the part that people don't miss. They don't put their dreams and their goals on their calendar. So, okay, I need to transform this problem. What do I need to do that? Put it on the calendar.
That is very informative and encouraging, because Scripture says if it's not written, it doesn't exist. So it can be in your head all day long, but if it's not written, it's just out there in the ether. Now, you gave some very valid, constructive points, but how, if a person is in serious turmoil, how can they overcome the voices in their head when they have these voices that are telling them, that's not possible. Nobody in your family has ever done such and such. And what makes you think you can do it? Because we're bombarded daily with such negativity. It's like it has become a part of who we are. How do we overcome that from writing that down to putting that on the calendar? What's your process?
First, I treat the voices in my head as experiences rather than something I am. So instead of I am having these thoughts, I look at them, I don't think I am my thoughts. I think they're just something I'm having. So, for example, if someone tells me, Roy, and they tell me something negative, that's their opinion. They're outside of me. They're not part of me. I also look at my thoughts as something outside of me, because I know the mind's job is survival. And so it'll whisper these survival things to keep you from venturing out, because it wants things to be the same. So when those negative thoughts come up, I just look at them as if it's something I'm experiencing. Oh, wow, that's crazy that thought came up. And actually, when I was writing my book, I noticed every day I sat down to write, I would have the self-talk of, why are you writing this book? Who are you? What gives you the authority to write this book? You didn't go to school. You don't have a college degree. Every day I had those thoughts. And you can say, you know what, yeah, you're right. Or you could just look at those thoughts, and that's what I did. I just looked at them like, oh, wow, that's funny I'm having those thoughts. That's a crazy experience. But I kept writing.
That is so clever. I love it. Some years ago, 20, maybe even 30 years ago, 87, 97, 2007. Yes, 30, but 31 years ago, I had the same experience, Roy. When I wrote my first book, The Passion Principles, Pathways to Purpose, Power, and Profit, I had just become I hadn't even become a producer yet. Anyway, I was writing. I've always written as a child, so writing was my comfort zone. It helped calm me down when there was chaos and confusion in my life, because I started writing when my mom passed. And it's like writing was my friend. So eventually, the thought came to me to write a book. And the first thing that came to my mind after the thought that said write a book were the exact same words you just said. Who am I to write a book? You do not have a PhD. You don't have the education. Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
So it seems that voice of negativity, of doubt and fear, that voice is universal. So how do we quiet that voice down? By doing the things that we are doing now, by the mindfulness meditation and writing. We have got to get it out of our heads onto paper. Because if it doesn't, if it's not on paper, if it's not written, it doesn't exist. And do you still have those daily challenges, Roy?
Not as much anymore. And the reason for that is the mind really loves agreement. And so I had those thoughts. All the way up, and this is really important for anyone who wants to create something. The mind will give you the negative self-talk until it gets agreement. Once I start to get agreement, because people saw what I was doing, they saw that I was out there working. They see my text out. Now they're giving me agreement, so I don't have those negative thoughts anymore. And just to go into scripture, since you brought up scripture, and I'm sorry if I get part of this story wrong, but when Mary found out she was going to give birth to Jesus, there was a story told about how she traveled far to go tell a queen somewhere. I forget where she went, but she traveled. She told no one, and she traveled super far to tell this queen. And when she told the queen, the Bible says that Jesus rejoiced inside of the womb, and that's kind of an analogy to what I'm talking about. She didn't tell anyone. She only told people that would give her agreement, because she knew that those negative thoughts would slither into her head about her gift, about her birthing her calling. And agreement is everything that we are really chasing for, that the mind is chasing for, not our souls, but the mind, that survival filter that we have.
That is simply awesome. I love that. The mind loves an agreement. It gives the negative self-talk a way out until that agreement occurs. Because I wrote something.
We want proof.
Yes, we want proof. We want proof. And we often try to have that conversation in our head, and we'll go crazy until we get it on paper, because many people are visual learners. And until we can see that on paper, nothing will change. So in order for it to change, the proof needs to be on paper. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How is it possible? Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Well, also, and just, I bring the science in as well, in neuroscience. The thumb is connected to like 90% of our brain neurons. So when we write it, the thumb is connected to the thumb. Our thumb is connected to 90% of our brain neurons. And so when we write it, we're really putting it out, creating that electricity in our synaptic pathways in our brains, and our brain can conceive it better. And that's the first form of agreement that you can get, is agreement from yourself when you write it down.
You need to say that again, because somebody didn't get that. You said 90%.
Mm-hmm. 90% of our brain neurons. 90% of our brain neurons are connected to our thumb. It's called the opposable thumb. And when we write, we bring electricity to all those neurons. And that's the first line of agreement that we get, is giving ourselves agreement with that electricity through our writing and manifesting it into the world.
Wow. Isn't that awesome? I love that. 90% of the brain's neurons come through the thumb, which is why Scripture tells us if it's not written, it does not exist. We all have a story. And until we get that story out of our head and stop complaining about it and put it on paper, nothing will change. How cool is that? How long did it take you to come to that experience?
It took me a long time, because we feel a certain way when we go to write it down.
Mm-hmm.
We feel a certain way, and that's when you get to the gate called there. That's when the devil tries to get at you. That's when he tries to get at you the most. So right before you write it is when your mind will scream and scream and go down kicking and screaming. But once you do write it, once you're in the act, you relax and you get this surge of inspiration and enlightenment and illumination, and then you're ready to take action and bring it into being.
It's not funny, but it's coincidental that you would say that, because from the writing experiences that I've had, when I know I need to write, but I don't know what to write, and I just pick up the paper and because I'm old-fashioned, I still write things by hand. And you have just given proof that there is a difference between writing on a computer, your laptop or desktop or your tablet, and writing with pen and paper with the thumb, because there's no thumb on the There's no thumb on the computer. And I was listening to Iyanla Vanzant speak on writing when someone asked her, with all the success that she's had in writing books, why does she still write with pen and paper? So even if she or other people, she probably knows that there's a connection, and you just explained it to us, that connection, that thumb is there for a reason. Because how often do we think about the thumb until we need it?
Yeah, true.
And the thumb
and
plays
when I
a
need
very
to,
important role.
When I'm in a stressful situation, one thing I do is I will tap my thumb to my index finger, and it immediately grounds me and gets me into a state of being able to handle that stress and, okay, Roy, what's going on here? What's being said? Why is this bothering you? And it kind of breaks that survival, anger, sadness, whatever it is in that moment. It breaks that, and I can focus.
And that is awesome. Can you say that again for our listeners who may have just joined in and they don't have a clue as to what you're talking about and exactly why you do what you do, in case you just tuned in? You're listening to Roy Red.
If I'm stressed out in the moment, if I'm angry or sad or my emotions are getting ready to engulf me, I can focus by tapping my thumb with my index finger or doing something with my thumb that can focus me. You know, a lot of people will have like beads that they'll play with their thumb or something of that sort. But I'll just tap them incrementally, and it grounds me, and I can get my thoughts back. Okay, Roy, what's going on? Why is this bothering you? Why is this happening? And then I can focus on the result rather than being in that survival mechanism with my thinking.
Awesome. Our executive director, Naima Latif, just sent me a text, and she says the story that you were referring to was when Mary of Nazareth, who was pregnant with Jesus, went to see her cousin Elizabeth, wife of Zechariah, who was pregnant with John the Baptist. The two babies in their wombs immediately got excited and started kicking. Wow. Isn't that awesome?
Because they both had purpose. She went to tell somebody else who had a purpose just like her because she knew someone with purpose would understand. Boom.
Awesome. And I understand we've got some callers on the line. Area code 312-802. We're going to take your call when we come back. But right now, we're going to a very important message break for you. So stay close. We'll be right back. And thanks.
We have an opportunity to transform the whole global society in the next 50 years. 50 years from now, the earth will be populated by a new generation of adults, many of whom are yet unborn. Our mission is to nurture them in childhood with love, guidance, and protection, and to raise them in healthy, happy families. If we impart values of compassion, generosity, and respect for fellow human beings in the next generation of children, they will create a world where people can live together in peace. This is our goal. Be a part of the transformation. Get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. Go to www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com.
Hi, this is Beata, your holistic life coach. Every Friday morning, I'm on The Female Solution. I'm also blogging live every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Soul Purpose Healing, where I help you get back into alignment with the Creator's love, compassion, and wisdom. On Sunday, you can call in at 215-383-5863 or go to www.blogtalkradio.com/soulpurposehealing. When I'm not doing spiritual adjustments on Blog Talk Radio, I'm helping clients reduce the stress in their lives with EFT, essential oils, and cost-saving health plans like Ameriplan. Ameriplan is a better way to save money on your health care expenses. There is more information on how to contact me at www.yourholisticlifecoach.com. Till then, stay in joy.
This is Minister Cynthia Marie Williams, spiritual counselor and advisor. I invite you to a private reading in the areas of business, health, finances, relationships for an introductory cost of $20. Please call because there is a higher power that can help me help you. 312-802-4743. Peace and blessings to you all. Call me. 312-802-4743.
I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. A previous mayor destroyed the great assets in the middle of the night, forcing corporate and private aircraft to land elsewhere. Jobs and revenue was lost, and convenient access to the business in the downtown area is gone. As mayor, I fully intend to reopen Meigs Field.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
Hi, I'm Beloved, and I'll be joining the Female Solution family on Saturdays from 12 noon to 2 p.m. with a brand new show entitled Women Entrepreneurs International. Women Entrepreneurs International empowers women to be financially free by starting their own home-based business. I look forward to being with you Saturday, 12 noon. Call in 515-605-9325. We, WEI, we are the answer.
And thank you for joining us back here on Monday Morning Mindfulness on the Female Solution. How you learning with Zelda Speaks. My very special guest today is Roy Red, phenomenal young man, best-selling author, speaker, and unbound performance coach. If you have not seen him, please go to TED Talks and type in Roy Redd, R-E-D-D. Thank you for hanging in there with us, Roy. We know you have a meeting this morning. You are in popular demand. We appreciate you as we go to our first caller. Call in at 515-605-9325. You are live on the air, area code 312-802, Grand Rising. Who is this and where are you calling from?
Grand Rising, and almost got a spirit in me, greets the spirit in you. This is Minister Cynthia Marie Williams. I just heard my commercial. And being, you young ladies are really helping me. I've known her for a long time. And some other ladies, writers, just like yourself. And that was one of the difficulties I had writing. Because I was traumatized when I was about 12 years old. I wrote 2 letters. One to my grandfather, who I loved beautifully a lot, and to my mother's father. And I used to go to Michigan, and he would pick me up to go. Then my girlfriend's mother, about 12 again, and I wrote her a letter how much I loved her and all this boo-boo-boo. We would split bubble gum and stuff. Her mother, I don't know, it shocked me as a child. Her mother got mad and told me, don't ever come around here anymore. My mother, as I learned, was jealous of my relationship with her father. Those 2 things traumatized me. I had to write those 2 letters. You know, it took me 10 years to write my senior thesis to graduate from Roosevelt University, and I ran from that teacher, who was a correspondent teacher, because he was the hardest one. But the thing is, you can't run and hide. I ended up in his class in the evening and wrote the best outline. I had difficulty with that. You see, that's part of my trauma. And I remember reading about a PhD who had the same issue of writing, that dissertation, but they got over it. But what you guys are talking about, that thumb, I believe you're correct, because the longhand writing, when I used to take tests, I remembered what I wrote in order to take that test. I would write out stuff. You've got a correction in that. I love that. The thumb really helps us to remember. Now, the other thing, when you talk about mentality, we who are, what was I told when I was born with a veil, we have that spiritual connection to the divine intelligence that guides and directs us towards our success in our human life that we walk. And those of us who are gifted that way in our community, African descendants, we've forgotten that history. A young lady from California, social worker, in the 80s, took a bus back then all to Chicago. We heard about all the psychic people that were here. Those people have made their transition now. I was mentored by one and found them myself, men and women, and these were our spiritual mental health professionals. That's what I am. Not only the degree in psychology, but the gift, and I don't know, we have really forgotten about that. But I appreciate what you're saying about the thumbs and writing longhand. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Minister Cynthia. And thank you, Roy, for staying with us, because we know you have a meeting this morning. Did you want to give us some closing thoughts and give us your website and all that social media info so that we can contact you in the future?
Yes. First, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. You guys could find me at royredd.com. That's ROYREDD.com. I put free stuff on there, free books. I give my stuff away, books away free. You could contact me, email me. I'm on Instagram at Roy_Redd, REDD. At Twitter, the same, Roy_Redd, REDD. Thank you again so much, and thank you for the love and light having us.
And we have one more caller. Well, actually, we've got lots of callers, but I recognize one of the numbers, and it's one of our hosts, and I'm thinking she may. Do you have time for one more call?
Yeah, bring on.
Okay, area code 706. I do believe that is our sister Maika. Area code, 8.
Greetings.
677. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising. How's
Thank
everyone this morning?
Wonderful. Who?
Good.
This is
Tell us
Maika.
who you are. Sister Maika.
I'm Maika. I'm the host of Let's Talk About It with Maika on every Thursday, same time, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Did you have a question for our guest?
So glad to have this opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a question or comment for our guest? He has to leave, so we're trying to take as many calls as we can before he leaves.
Yes. In terms of this 5G that people are talking about, I understand there are some products that are beneficial even if you're living in the city, like it's called the Plug. And then there's a hologram technician at holotech.biz who's also got free holograms to help to mitigate this energy. Do you have any information about that? And then maybe other sources?
I don't. I'm kind of confused on what that is. You said something with energy. Say that one more time.
Yeah, it's being predicted that this energy, electrical energy from sources like cell phones and what have you, has that it can easily be used to express 5G wattage, or I don't know how it's defined. That's what I was thinking. Maybe you had some information about that. I don't have that information.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure and accurate in the electricity of that stuff, but I know for a fact that it does do something to our consciousness. And, you know, we all have a finite amount of willpower every day, and that stuff does have a drainage on our willpower, so controlling it and controlling our environment is extremely important. As far as transmuting it into something that we can use, I'm not totally sure. I know our desires and when we're walking in our path, that gives us energy. But yeah, I'm not totally sure about that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your response, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah. Okay.
And thank you so much for calling in, Maika. We greatly appreciate that. Do you have time for another caller, Roy, or do you really have to go right now?
I have to go now.
Okay, well, I can fill these other calls. But thank you so much.
Okay.
Our guest today on Monday Morning Mindfulness is the one and only best-selling author, speaker, and unbound performance coach, Mr. Roy Red. And you can reach him at, what was that website again?
RoyRed.com. RoyRed.com.
RoyRed.com. May your day continue to be blessed and prosperous. Thank you so much for shining your light on our audience this morning. We greatly appreciate you. And you have a wonderful day.
Much.
Thank you. And thank our listening audience for joining us this morning. We've got more calls on the switchboard. The line is lit up this morning as we go to area code 704-502. You are live on the air. Grand Rising. Who's this and where are you calling from? Grand Rising. What's your name? You're live on the air. Well, they may be out and about walking this morning, so we'll just have to go to the next caller, and that will be area code 843-610. That's area code 843-610. You're live on the air. Grand Rising. Good morning. Who's this?
Good day, good day. Can I be heard?
Yes, you can. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Eddie, and I'm calling from Carolina, South Carolina.
Eddie in South Carolina. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. What's your question or comment?
What was the comment he made about your thumb?
Oh, you missed that. Okay, I was taking notes here, and I wrote them down. There is there is 90%. The thumb produces 90% of the brain neurons that is accountable for our creativity and synchronicity. So when you write something, it brings the electrical neurons, it fires them, it helps them be their very best. Does that make sense to you? It's part of love's agreement. It's part of the mind agreement.
Wow, yeah, that's really powerful because
isn't that powerful? Isn't that powerful?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, a lot of people think that, you know, just like I said, it doesn't really manifest and materialize until you write it down, you know. Most people that are successfully write things down, and, you know, they have a map, basically a map, step by step and all of that. So it's the thumb more than any other finger. And, you know, it's interesting, too, because a lot of people say you have 4 fingers and a thumb. So, you know, that thumb is always symbolized in a lot of ways, especially considered, you know, it's so separate from the other fingers. So that's very interesting.
So what are you aware of? What do you know of what that thumb symbolizes? Excuse me.
That's what's interesting. I never really gave it no thought. I know that the first 2 fingers fire, but, you know, I guess the 4 fingers deal with the element. So maybe that's another reason why the thumb is what it is. It's, I guess, that invisible part of us, the spiritual part of us, just like what he's basically speaking to, you know, what we just said, basically. So that makes sense. It really does.
I Googled what does the thumb finger, I Googled what does the thumb mean, and it shows up as what does the thumb finger mean. And it says Shaka. I'm not quite sure who Shaka is. I know it's not Shaka Khan. But anyway, it says Shaka sign consists of extending the thumb and the little finger upward. It is used as a gesture of friendship in Hawaii and surf culture. Shaka is a hand gesture with a sexual connotation. Really? Alrighty. Never knew that. It says the ring finger and thumb are curled or bent down while other fingers are extended. Okay. And then it goes on to give lots of other definitions or meanings. It says, what does the straight thumb mean? And it runs contrary to the straight thumb, meaning you're more expressive than most if you have this type. Our thumbs bend backwards, sometimes quite far, so the phalange is basically perpendicular to the metacarpal. This is also known as the hitchhiker's thumb. Having a curved thumb doesn't mean you can't be serious. Okay, so there's a whole lot about thumbs. And I remember as a kid coming up, we played with our thumbs. I remember there was a young lady who, or was it a guy? I don't remember. But they could take their thumb and bend it all the way backwards where it would touch the wrist, the actual arm. And I was like, wow, how do you do that? And I tried that and almost broke mine, so I don't do that anymore. But I just think it's funny how this is one part of the body that we don't pay a whole lot of attention to until we hurt the thumb. What kind of experiences have you had with your thumb, Eddie?
Well, I was sitting quietly waiting to see if you would speak on the point that, in the East, in Asia, when they meditate, I think they either take the middle finger or the pointer finger. I think it's the middle finger and connect it to the thumb in meditation. You know, because that can supposed to connect the physical and the etheric body, so you can go in and go up. You know, so things like that. I know a few people who could, just like what you're speaking to. We call it double jointed. Take their thumb and pull it back and touch their wrist or whatever, their arm.
Yeah. Yeah, and yes, I'm glad you said that, because there are I have seen meditation where those two fingers, the middle finger and the thumb, and that's exactly what is used to achieve another level of consciousness. So thank you for sharing that this morning.
I'd like to ask you a question about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is in reference to that. You know, the OK sign.
Mm-hmm.
And some people say now that's a symbol of that hidden secret organization. What do you think about that? As long as we even use the OK sign, you know.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I never thought of that. And now that you've mentioned it, you think about how many times we see that during the course of a day. Okay. And sometimes we look through the circle in our hand when we make that sign, and we look through it. So, you know, there are lots of, I'm sure there's millions of little signs and signals that we don't know anything about because that information is just not known in the general population. It's only known in secret societies. Like if you notice, lots of times when celebrities take pictures, or not all celebrities, but general people and everyday people, and you notice when they take a picture, they'll have a certain sign in front of them. Like a lot of times people will take the heart sign. You know, that's become popular.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed presidential candidates sometimes when they speak, and even number 45, who when their hands are lowered, they will make a certain sign. And I've had relationships I've been in where I know if you're stopped by the police, there's a certain sign that you can give where you won't be harassed, or it lets them know that you know something that the general population doesn't know. I don't know if that is an officer's courtesy sign, or it's that I know something that you know, and hopefully you'll let me go. And I know it to be true because I've been in a car with several guys, including one of my brothers and including my husband too, where we were pulled over, and I don't know what he did, but my husband was not in the right. He was in the wrong, and I heard what he said, and I didn't hear anything out of the ordinary, or what I thought was out of the ordinary. But it's something he did with his hand, and the officer let him go. Didn't even give him a ticket. So I know it works. And I know a truck driver who has used this signal as well, and the police let him go as well. So it's something that's going on in the universe that we, the general population, may or may not be aware of. And we may know it and just not know how to use it. You never know. Have you ever been pulled over? I'm sorry?
Yeah, I've been pulled over before, but it depends on when. I got pulled over when I used the mayor's name and got away from a ticket, but other than that, no symbology got me off of anything ever.
I know our executive producer says the secret society, the Masons have a sign. And I'm sure, yeah, the Masons have lots of signs. I have been to the temple some probably 20 years ago, and there were signs and symbols that you had to use in order to get in the place, to be in the place. And, you know, there's just things that you have to be a member of in order to participate and to reap some of the benefits. Because if you don't, then you wind up getting whatever it is that you're going to get because you didn't know the sign. But thank you so much for calling. Did you want to give a closing comment or thought, Eddie, before you leave, before we take our next caller?
Yes, and what did you put in Google, please, to find out the information?
I typed in, what did I type in? What does the thumb symbolize? That's what I typed in.
Okay.
And,
that's the thing with Google now. It's interesting.
Yeah.
The information that you get from them depends on how you word what you're searching for.
Right.
Because I typed in what is the hidden meaning of the thumb, or what is the meaning of the thumb, and they gave me thumb ring and all this foolishness. So if you don't put that, yeah. I noticed that about Google now. If you don't put your information in depicting specifically what you're looking for, 9 out of 10 times you'll never find it. I don't know what's on the other pages, but on the front page, no, it didn't come up with any clarity. And that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, well, I opened up another window and I typed in what is the meaning of the thumb, and it shows up as, it gives me the definition of the thumb. It doesn't say what the meaning is. It just says the thumb defined. The thumb, short, thick, first digit of the human hand, set lower and apart from the other four and opposable to them. So yeah, you're right, because one question is more defined, because it said, what does the thumb, the question was, what does the thumb symbolize? And it gave me different meanings and so on and so forth. So thank you for calling in and asking that question. We greatly appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you.
Thank you. And we appreciate you as well. Thank you for listening. If you just joined in, you are listening to the Female Solution, Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks, on your Monday morning mindfulness. And if you would like to join the conversation, we would love to have you at 515-605-9325 as we go to the phone lines, area code 706. You are live on the air on Monday Morning Mindfulness. Thank you for joining us. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Grand Rising, Zelda. This is Brother Kwame. I'm calling you from Georgia.
Good morning, Green Rising. Thank you, Brother Kwame. Thank you for joining us this morning. Did you, what's your question or comment?
Well, I was getting feedback. No, I was listening to the show, and the brother read, and he had very good points in about writing and about the thumb, and even about, cursive writing or just longhand writing, is that the thumb has a great connection to the mind. And what it kind of does is that it releases the subconscious mind, because when we begin to write specific other things that are in our subconscious comes to the surface, and it comes out in the writing. So that's communication. And if you typed in spiritual meaning of the thumb, you will get the palm readers. And looking at the palm readers, the thumb is the point of generosity, in which, like you were saying about people that can bend their thumb back all the way to touching their wrist, is that the wider that they can open that thumb, it's like a pump, a handle. And what it does is that it helps to bring out, or it helps to, like you said, when you make the sign of the okay, it's connecting in how the energy runs through the hand and back into the body. That the thumb is kind of like it touches each one of the fingers, and each one of them, it sends a connection to the mind. So what we're looking at is, the thumb is a thing to where you snap your finger and say, oh, wow, I just remembered. You make that sound. Music gets good to you. You start popping your fingers and you get into the rhythm, is because you're using that thumb, but you can't snap a finger if you don't have a thumb.
You sure can.
And that it's a communication point with the hand. It's the fulcrum of the hand. You can ball up your fingers, but you can't make a fist unless it's a thumb. So the thumb has a very important part on the hand, and that we grew that part of us in developing, saying in the womb, that like you were saying about when the sister was saying when Jesus met John the Baptist, they started kicking and doing, because that communication is even in the womb, because in our developing our bodies, we say we're going to have 4 fingers and a thumb. We're going to have this color skin, these things. All of it is programmed, but the thumb is a very important part of the hand. Even when you go to shake hands, there are certain signals that is done with the thumb in secret societies and handshaking, that you place the thumb on a certain part of the other person's hand to send the signal to know that, you know we're connected. So the thumb has a very important part in how we connect.
The thumb plays a crucial role in how we connect. And I want to thank you so much for connecting with us this morning. We need to have you on the show as a guest.
Well, Miss AC had asked me to call in because we're talking about grounding.
Right, and she wasn't feeling right.
Right, and that part of that is that's what the thumb in itself kind of helps do. It helps to ground. It helps to, you get tense and you make a fist, and you tighten up the fist with the thumb.
Right.
So and the thing that we do in grounding is that I think it was one sister who does programs. She was talking about the 5G and what we're needing to do, and we're needing to understand how to ground ourselves. They created a footwear to where it disconnects us and it disconnects us when you put on rubber soles and plastic. It takes you walking on the earth or the grass, you're disconnected from the frequency that runs through the earth. It's insulated, and it disconnects the human from the frequency of Mother Earth. And these towers and 5Gs are now going to be bombarding the body and bombarding the consciousness of the human being by design, in order that we're in a place in our galaxy that we're now getting a cosmic consciousness that's bringing about a new order to what we're supposed to be really doing as evolving humans. And so what they're doing is distorting that frequency by putting those different waves of frequency, because this is how they tell what's going on in the brain by either MRIs or EEGs. And because we're energy, we're basically energy. And what we do with our energy pertains to how our frequencies are connected, like the phone. When you make that, you connect certain frequencies when you do certain things with your thumbs and fingers. You do certain things with your thumb. When you snap your finger, you make sound happen without having to speak.
And I noticed that your sound is moving in and out, and that may have something to do with the fact that you're sharing energy with us that the powers that be may not want us to know. So we're going to take a quick break here and come right back. If you just tuned in, we have been blessed with the presence of Kwame, who was referred to us by Mama AZ, who is with a group called Mothers of the Earth, I believe it is. It's Mothers of the Earth or Mothers for the Earth. I believe it's Mothers of the Earth, but Mama AZ was not feeling well this morning, and she suggested that we have Kwame join the conversation about grounding this morning. So you stay close, and we've got some more information for you, and we'll be right back after this message.
Oh, man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark.
Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456.
Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shin-Suk Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
While taxes do provide the funds to pay for our services, high taxes can drive business out of our city. Residents then go out of state to buy gas because our gas taxes are so high. And when they buy gas, they stop and buy many other items. Lowering gas taxes will keep those residents and dollars in our city.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
Hi, I'm Wanda Carter, producer of the Woman to Woman TV show. We'll be joining the Female Solution radio show on Sundays from 5 to 7 p.m. with a panel of women discussing everything from romance to finance in order to find solutions to the daily challenges we face. So get a pen, call a friend, and stay tuned in to the Woman to Woman show with Wanda Carter on the Female Solution radio show. Sundays, 5 to 7 p.m. Central Time at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in and comment at 515-605-9325. Press 1 to join the conversation, and let's talk about it, woman to woman.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed, into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speaks for your Monday morning mindfulness sessions on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit ZeldaSpeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered. Stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening. And thank you for joining us on the Female Solution Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks as we continue with Kwame, who was referred to us by Mama AZ, who's not feeling well this morning. So let us keep Mama AZ in our prayers so that she continue to be healthy, wealthy, and wise as she is. Mama AZ, we are praying for you. We love you, and we know that you will feel better soon and that you will get the lesson in whatever this lesson is for your healing. And we thank you, and we appreciate you. And Kwame, I would like for you to continue the message that you bring with us today on grounding and why that's important and how we are living in a superficial society that keeps us disconnected through our shoes.
And there are many other ways, and thank you for that. And yes, prayers go out to Mama AZ because she's utilizing her repairing the damage that our body is going through by using earth energy in what's called earthing. And the earth has a certain frequency of energy and minerals that it's in it. And you can put your feet into the earth, and even now it's become a science that they're using or going back to using, and that earthing, that the earth has certain electrical and mineral components in it that when you connect it with the human body, it begins to resonate frequencies to redirect currents to certain parts of the body that need some repair. And so now that they're finding that this ancient science is workable, they're utilizing it. And we have to understand that in no other time in history on this Turtle Island, which, you know, this is United States, but the indigenous people call it Turtle Island. And that on this island, that no other time in history have there been more people in urban areas than there are in rural areas. And so this is by design, because urban means that you are banned from nature. And now that they have created the banning the human from connecting to nature, then that they've created a nature deficit disorder. Is that you're not on the level that you're supposed to be. You're in the false matrix. Matrix is just the base word for mother. And you're being inundated into a false matrix, a false womb, a false frequency of consciousness. This is why it's called artificial intelligence, AI. And in you creating this AI, you're creating beings that are disconnected from what their natural cosmic way is, because there's cosmic order, there's universal order, there's nature's order. And we just went into nature's order when we just had the fall equinox, because nature, this planet knows, this Turtle Island knows in the northern hemisphere, the frequency changes. The trees, all of the plant relatives know to go and prepare to become dormant and go to sleep and to rest. And these are the energies that come through the earth. That's the natural order. And what we have become is that we've become out of order. We've been moved from the urban area, the rural areas to the urban areas, and put into what we call urban plantations. And they built the buildings to disconnect you from the cosmic, from it's a full moon, and if you walk down, and I was raised in Chicago, you walk down the streets in Chicago, you barely can see stars or the moon, according on where you're at, and the buildings that block the energy that comes down from the heavens. As above, so below. And if you block your above and disconnect your below, you have beings wandering like zombies. So what we've got to do is look at how do we reconnect back to the mother, because Creator gave this planet to the human to be stewards and caretakers of her. She nurtures and gives you everything that is needed, can be found in the community of forests and woods. I think you were speaking of something about the Amazon and the trees. That provides a great percentage of our oxygen, because it's recycled. When we breathe out, the tree breathes in, and the tree breathes out, we breathe in. This is why it's called the tree of life, because it's rooted in life. Life is in the earth. And so we as humans have to know that Evolution only means know it, you love. If you put it in a mirror, the word would reflect know it, you love. Evolution. And Creator is love, and we've got to understand how to begin to love ourselves again, because we're being put in food deserts. Is that those communities are set up by design to be able to limit your intake of what is natural for the human body to have, to consume and eat. We eat to fill up, not eat to live. And we've got to go back to eating for live, because the first whole food store that we knew about, like you said, the grandmother could go out there and get those herbs and those things and make the tonics and make the food to feed us, because we sat down at the kitchen table, what they call kitchen table university, and your body was fed from the land. Your mind was fed from the heart of that mother that prepared that food, that father that sat down and told you about the disciplines of what it takes to be a man. And the mother and the grandmother sat the women down and told the young girls what it took to be a woman. So we have to go back, Sankofa, go back and fetch those things that were most productive and help us to move forward. Yes, we have technology, that's techno-spiritual, but we got to go back to the natural spiritual, because the first computer was the earth. It has a program that surpasses any supercomputer that they can build. Anyway, that's
you better say that,
a little
my
bit
brother.
of what I have to share.
Yes, you have a lot to share, but I'd like you to back up. I appreciate that. Very informative. I'd like you to back up for a moment and you spoke about the indigenous people referring to Turtle Island.
Right.
Exactly what is that?
Turtle Island is in their folklore is that water, the earth was water. And what happened when the landmass began to form, it was a turtle that rose up its body, and the shell of the turtle is symbolic by the female, because on the back of the turtle there are 13 squares in one section and a total of 28. That's the moon cycle. And what it's called the Turtle Island because we're on the back of this turtle. Because the formation of the oldest record keepers are the mineral people, which are the stones. This is what you'll hear Mama Az talk about grandmothers and grandfathers. They are the oldest record keepers. They are the ones. They're our relatives. They are grandmothers and grandfathers. They hold the records of energy that goes on around them and it's been recorded through them. And so these are the teachings of the indigenous. And also you have some nations in the indigenous tribes that, like the Dakotas, they have 52,000 years of star knowledge. That means that they have a knowledge that 2 times around this Milky Way galaxy, because it takes 25,920 years for us to complete our circle around our Milky Way. And our Milky Way is symbolic of the star Sirius. Sirius is our biggest star, which is 500 times larger than our sun, but it's so many light years away. It entails and gives us the energy because there's Sirius A, B, and C. C is considered to be the placenta. That's why it's called the Milky Way, because it's the nurturing milk of that mother, Isis.
Very interesting. And you also said something about AI, artificial intelligence, what I thought was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very interesting, I'll just say, because I saw a Microsoft commercial the other day with Chicago's own Common, the actor, rapper, performer, entertainer, And he was the mouthpiece for this Microsoft commercial endorsing artificial intelligence. And I said to myself, I don't know a whole lot about computers but I do know about farming a little bit. And I do know the fact that I see green spuds coming up in a warehouse, and that's not from the ground. So it's definitely artificial intelligence, celebrities and stars to encourage us to use AI.
Right, and that right there says something, because you called him a star. He is not nothing of. He's a human being. He's not a star which is in the sky. See, and we go back and look at the Helios Biblios, the Holy Bible, the Sun Book, because it's nothing but the story of the human in the heavens. Because even when it begins, it says, "Let there be light," and then he named the sun, the moon, the stars, the signs and the seasons. All of that was given for a reason, because we work with that energy of grand rising. That sun rises on and everything on this turtle island. It rises, or we turn to it, because we're moving and we turn to it, but it rises the life force of light. The commercial that you said, if you don't pay the bill and you get the sunlight turned off, what would happen? We would die. And so what we're having today on this 24th of September is the Aries full moon. Aries is the head. It begins the cycle of the zodiac, which is what's called the body of Adam Kadmon. Aries is the head, Pisces is the feet, and all in between is the human body. The heavenly body is you. You talked about when you began the program, and I tuned in, and then I had to go away and come back. You did a meditation. You were talking about the breath. Let me share about the breath. A baby breathes between 20 or 30 breaths in a minute. As we get older, we breathe about 18 breaths in a minute. 60 minutes times 18 breaths is 1,080. It takes 24 hours to complete a day. 24 times 1,080 is 25,920. So in 24 hours, you breathe what this planet takes to go around the Milky Way galaxy within the universe, within yourself.
How powerful is that? I know our callers.
That's why the breath is so powerful.
Yes.
It's the journeyer. It's your jet propulsion to go within the universe. Rumi says everything in the universe is within you. When will you learn to use yourself?
Learning to use ourselves is a challenge in a society that tells us we are less than or better than. Let's go to the phone lines. Right. Area code 843-610. You are live on the air on Monday Morning Mindfulness. What's your name and where you're calling from? Area code 843-610. Well, maybe they put the phone down, so we will go back to area code 773-994. You are live on the air on Monday Morning Mindfulness. What's your name and where you're calling from?
All right, good. Grand Rising. It's Mama Joy. How are you from Chicago?
Grand Rising, Mama Joy.
Yes. Wonderful conversation. I want to thank the brother for being a part of our your showcase this morning. You know, as he was describing, just before he got to the Turtle Island question, he was thinking about how our environment has been tampered with. You know, I went to the Windy Classics yesterday. Saturday. We have a Windy Classics here, a football game. And I wasn't driving. You know, you see things a little differently when you're just a passenger. I go through how to drive often. But what happened was my daughter was driving, and I looked at the skyline, and I said, my God, where are all these buildings coming from? You can't see the clouds. You can't see the sky. They're so clustered until you can't see the skyline, and I love the sky. And I realized that with that cluster, it's also causing a lot of shade and shadows, which means a lot of people that's going to be working there are going to be robbed of the benefits of the sun. And then I was talking to my son who had some issues with his relationship because the lack of sun, he was getting depressed and going through a lot of things that was affecting his family. And I'm just sharing this because when you don't get enough sun, you cause a deficiency of the vitamin D, which can also cause depression. And he became aware of this, and it was affecting the family. So these conversations are very, very important and beneficial to us to connect back to the earth, understand that Mother Earth is the beginning, and as the brother said, the first computer. And secondly, I when he commented on the Bible, I also see that the tampering with the Bible, that many things which refer to she, which can empower women and help them to get that divine connection to divinity of their humanity or their essence, is being changed. So we're being bamboozled on so many different fronts until we all have to be aware. And to whatever it is that we become aware of, share it in love, share it in peace, because we do have the power.
Yes, we do have the power. Thank you so much for calling in, Mama Joy. I hate to cut you off, but the show's about to end, and I'd like for our guests to be able to close out with a thought. Kwame, if you'd like to do that, you've got about 30 seconds here. Can you give us a closing thought?
Yes, and it ended great and on time in divine order, because the divine feminine is coming back into her power. When she understands that the womb in the Milky Way galaxy, which is the black hole, and the womb within her body are one and the same, we will be empowered, because if, as the indigenous say, if the heart of the woman hits the ground, don't matter how bad the warriors and how many the men, we will lose a nation.
Amen. Well, thank you for bringing an enlightening conversation to our nation of listeners this morning. We must have you back on the show. So I'll be in contact with you so that we can do this, because you just bring a wealth of information, and we so appreciate you. And thank you so much. Is there contact information for people who may want to contact you?
Well, you can reach me at kwameson@gmail.com, or you can call me at 706-202-7472. That's area code 706-202-7472. And us means is that we're uniting our spirits. That's why you say thank us, not you. There's no I in we. It's about us uniting the spirits.
And thank us for having you on the line this morning. Thank you so very much, Kwame. We greatly appreciate you and look forward to having you on again in the very near future. If you just joined us, well, you may not be able to hear any more of the show, but you can hear it in the archives on blogtalkradio.com, The Female Solution, How You're Learning with Zelda Speaks, and any of the other shows. We thank you. We appreciate us, all of us who are listening online, on social media, and on the phone as well. We apologize if we did not get to all of your calls, but be sure and tune in tomorrow morning, where Executive Director Naima Latif will be discussing topics of interest that you do not want to miss. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and remember to stay tuned to the Higher Learning Network TV show Tuesdays at 6 p.m., Wednesdays at 1 p.m. on Channel 19. And you can always contact me at zeldaspeaks.com. Go to the website and put your information there. That's zeldaspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Make it a great day. And thanks for listening.
Poland. John Couillon. France. Merci. Spain. Gracias. Italy. Grazie. Egypt. Shukran. Ghana. Medasi. Nigeria. Eshe. South Africa. Ngiyabonga. Senegal. Geret. Kenya. Asante. Israel. Toda. Pakistan. Shukriya.
Afghanistan, Tashakkur, Saudi Arabia, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.